Yes, thank you very much. I would like to speak on, as somebody who has been through it and has lived to be where I'm at today. When I was in high school, it was before, the internet had really just started, and it wasn't, there wasn't so much of this. For me, from my own knowledge, when it comes to bullying, there's a lot of reasons why, in my own personal opinion. I'm not professional, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but in terms of what I think could be the possible reason, a lot of it stems from what I think in terms of, one, I think the bully is trying to break you. The bully sees everything in a tribal mentality. Everything is about, normalcy. Like, what is normalcy? What is that exactly? I mean, and I think a bully is somebody that feels so small about their own situation, like what's been said before, that they want to find somebody for whatever reason. It could be the most minuscule difference humanly possible, and they will go after you for it. Just because they say, like, oh, I feel so small that I'm going to make sure everybody else feels small with me. It's a power game. It's all about power. And in terms of, I think that's why I feel like it happened for me, because I have Asperger's syndrome. There are a lot of things about me that particularly stand out and still stand out to this day, and it made me a big target for that. And, I think a bully can really sense on your weaknesses and sense on your sense of insecurity and your sense of trying to pick you apart. And that's really what it is. And I think that a lot of how you get through years like that, and it was tough for me because there were days where I just wanted out, whether mentally or what have you. I think part of it is the fact that you have to realize that, having a sense of being resolute about everything does help. That idea that, as Dan Savage has popularly said, things do get better. They don't always get better, in a perfect way, but they do get better. I feel like I'm somebody who can be living proof of that. It's amazing, really, because I went from people, and I do still get it to this day, that I have this sort of, fragment of people that think that I'm odd to them. But there's just many people that appreciate who I am. And I think my ability to have been able to see that in some way, I think helped me a lot. I think being able to believe in myself helped that way. I think the other thing I can say to people is that you should not let anybody define who you are. Even for me today, I still go through days where I feel like I have other people defining who I am. You have to be the one to define who you are. You have to be the one to say, you know what, I know who I am. Not everyone else knows who I am. And if you can, sometimes it's all a matter of just simply willing that. And, through the darkest days of your life, to really say, you know what, I know who I am. Nobody can take that away from me. I think can help and put you on your path and hopefully, by any means, put you in a better frame of mind than you were years ago. I feel for anybody who's bullied, because when you're young, it's harder to process all those things. You can't really, it's tougher because, you don't have so much the skin for it, and I think that a bully can really sense anybody that doesn't really have the skin for it. And I think it's important to be able to, by sheer will or what have you, to really say, you know what, I'm not going to let anybody tell me who I am. I know who I am, and that's all there is to it. And I think once you do that, you could take anything that people can see as a weakness and you can turn into your strength. From the people I've talked to that have been bullied, I'm like, my heart goes out to them, because a lot of these people are really sweet, wonderful, nice people. The same qualities kind of come about over and over again. And I'm like, why is this person being bullied? Because it's like, I could see that person doing great things with their lives. I think they have the potential. I see it more than a lot of people that I interact with that are young. And I think that if anybody can will that and keep that to them without losing who they are, then they can turn whatever people look at them as a weakness and turn it into a strength. And I think that's very, very important. I think everybody has to recognize that. And I think that if you do that, then the sky's the limit. I think you really can believe that things could happen. It's just really sad, because, my heart goes out to, anybody who's had it really hard, because I've had it really hard. I've had days where it's just been the worst. I don't even know how I've gotten to where I am, honestly, sometimes. But I consider myself very, very lucky. I mean, not just, because of having a support system and everything else. It's that having that strength within you to say, you know what, I have to believe that I'm going to survive another day, that I am worth something. And I think once you believe that, then, who knows what could happen. I mean, it could totally flip around. You could be on the other side of it even for, later in life. But I think that's something I would say to anybody. And also, don't let... I think that's really where it boils down to. It is what I say is about not letting other people just to get control of who you are. I mean, it's very easy for that to happen, but I really do feel that if you take the power away from people, you'll really be able to slowly but surely overcome a lot of what you go through. In the tumultuousness of being a teenager and dealing with all this